All right, we're going to get right to it. We're going to start with my boy Nate, Valhalla VFT.
And that connected, and again, the CIA is involved in this video, right? That connected to the CIA, that connected to defense contracting. It's very, very bizarre. When we then look at, like, again, because we're going to look at her whole backstory here and how that integrates into her persona, the persona that we're being fed, right? The persona that we're being fed is she's this trad wife, traditional wife, like, oh, this just good girl that doesn't know anything. And I'm just here to raise babies. And I met Charlie in Israel and I don't know anything, right? And then Charlie gets shot in the face, and all of a sudden she becomes the CEO of Turning Point USA.
That in and of itself should have been a red flag to everybody. You have Turning Point USA, this huge organization that helped Trump win the election, has all this money from all these powerful donors, all this influence, and then they just give it to Erika. And everyone's like, yes, that's the right thing to do. It's like, yeah, really? Really? That's the right thing to do? Because you can look at this from a couple different angles. One, what made her qualified? Other than the fact that she was the wife of Charlie. Two, even if she might have been qualified, there are way better candidates to run that kind of organization. Especially, you have all these donors putting all this money into it. You would think that they would want somebody competent that's going to be able to handle everything, that's going to steer the ship. Like, they didn't even have a debate. And everybody else is like, yes, this is what we're going to do. Like when I say everyone else, I mean in Turning Point, this is what we're going to do. That's the right thing to do. I think that they were using, the whole grieving widow narrative to try to shield Turning Point and protect it. And that's my other point too. If she was a grieving widow, would that really been the time for her to take over and be CEO? The whole world just saw him get shot in the neck. And, within a week, 2 weeks, whatever it was, she's forgiving that man and she's the CEO. And then you would think, like, when you see the video of her grieving over the casket, if that was real, like, let's say she was not some honeypot coke. If you see a woman that's hanging over her husband's casket, sobbing and crying hysterically on camera, and she's posting it on Instagram, is that the kind of person that you want to be CEO? Is that the type of person that you think has the mental state to be CEO of this multi-million-dollar nonprofit? And I was watching this while it was going on, and I'm like, yo, like, something is fucked up. Like, this is fucked up. And then the fact that, like, nobody else seemed to, like, see it the way that I was seeing, I'm like, wow. Let's go, Nate.
Our greatest ally becomes the forefront of TPUSA. That all is getting shoved down everybody's throats. So, again, when you look at her backstory and her family connections and her dad's connections to our greatest ally, and the fact that she met Charlie Kirk on a pilgrimage, randomly, of course, in Israel, it starts to get a little suspicious with her backstory. But there's way more to look at, because this is just the start of it.
If our grid goes down, you can't cook, you're not.
Also, she's in a video with Judge Gene.
Yeah, that's
Judge
another
Gene
freaking
here.
Zionist show.
It's just
oh my God, you can't make it up.
All involved.
You can't make it up.
Anything. You can't run any of your medical supplies. You can't talk on your phone.
More
you can't
fear-mongering.
take money out of a bank, and
It's another
we
whack
went
job.
into total chaos.
If this happens, the system stops.
If a transformer is taken down, we have.
So for a lot of people, that's true. A lot of people are not prepared for something like this. A lot of people have no clue what to do if their power goes.
All right, hold on. Dan's about to pitch some ads. Sorry, Dan, but we're going to move forward. We get to my point. She was the trad wife, right? Like the trad wife, the traditional wife. Nobody ever saw her. She's just there to keep her mouth shut, raise babies.
It's traditional.
But now all of a sudden she's this feminist icon. That's the CEO of a company with the real backstory of the fact that her family is deeply tied to the CIA and intelligence networks in the military industrial complex. Okay.
My opinion, it's one of the most sick things ever. What if somebody doesn't know that Charlie Kirk is dead? What if they haven't been following it? And then they see Charlie Kirk videos from the past, and then they see a post from his account, and they think he's alive. It's just, what the fuck, man? But check out this. Just feminism. Big feminism going on. I'll tell you right now, I had never heard of Erika Kirk ever before Charlie Kirk died.
Neither had I.
Yeah, neither had I.
We've done that poll.
Not once. If you were to tell me, hey, who is Charlie married to? I would have no idea. I would probably guess Candace Owens before I guessed some blonde that apparently is, in with the Israeli government and the CIA. So here's what it says. This is great. I love feminism. Just a great opportunity to just join us at our Women's Leadership Summit 2026, curated for women of all ages who are cultivating wellness, clarity, and purposeful growth. And then you just have a picture of you with your back to everybody in the post. So look, I'm all about empowering women, but just so everybody's clear here, I am very much a traditional person when it comes to gender roles and when it comes to what is realistic in the world. And I think it's extremely disrespectful that Erika Kirk took over Charlie's business or nonprofit or whatever they want to call it this quickly. How are you qualified? What are your qualifications to run that big of an organization? Oh, just because you saw somebody else doing it? Let me tell you something. Watching and doing is very different. It's why there are very few people on the Yankees and there are a shitload of people in the stands. Erika should be in the stands.
Again, back to what I said. Even if she was qualified, they're just going to give it to her right away. When the videos of her, when she's posting videos on Instagram of her sobbing over his dead body, like a raving lunatic, nobody's saying like, hey, you know what? Maybe she's not in the mind state. Maybe down the road when she's ready, she could take over the company. But for now, like, we could have A, B, or C do it. You know what I mean? Like, but no, that didn't happen. They're all like, no, it has to be Erika. We always knew it would be Erika. Yeah, I'm sure you always knew it would be Erika. That's why you had her marry the guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
She should be mourning. She should be a mother. They never have to worry about money again. But now there's this play.
Well, you don't have to worry about her being a mother because if the rumors are true, she lost her kids. Right? Who was it? Someone said that on the Patrick Bet-David podcast? That Erika lost her kids, and then someone did a little research, and the nanny allegedly called CPS, and now they're living with Charlie's parents. I mean, that's crazy, too.
Play of, like, she's talking about midterms.
Yeah, that was another red flag. Is this playing? How come I don't hear anything?
She's talking about JD Vance in 2028. Here's an interesting one. I don't think anybody has ever seen the faces of Charlie and Erika kid. I was 6'1", 200 as a freshman in high school. But this dude's going to be the biggest dude in the world. Set the record. I don't want to make fun of or
look at those eyes
that people can't control.
She looks demonic.
Something very, very weird with Erika Kirk's eyes. And while I'm talking about this,
she really might be like a product
on
of
my
MK
eye right
Ultra.
now. I talked about it the other day.
Seriously, she really might be a product of MK Ultra because think about it. Her parents, they have all these connections with the military industrial complex and intelligence. So let's say it's true that she was a honeypot. Her parents are just going to be okay with whoring her off to Charlie Kirk? Like what do you think? What do you think her instructions were when they told her, like, hey, this is what we want you to do. We want you to marry this guy. We want you to get close with this guy, work for him, date him, marry him. Like, what do you think the details of her instructions were behind the scenes? Like, what was it, her parents? Like, okay, this is your instructor. He's going to tell you how to suck his dick so that he'll want to marry you. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of parents would whore their daughter off? Like, what, for the greater good? To make Israel great again? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Look at her. Looks like a fucking psycho.
Let's actually take a look at that. Because I actually have videos specifically on that to Dan's point, fucking weird stuff. It's just more bizarreness. Okay. Again, sorry, I got to. Oh, here we go. Had to reset.
We said our prayer and we asked the Lord to protect us. And we asked the Lord that his will be done. That's what we did.
I keep moving myself around. Yo, what is going on with this audio? How come I'm not... keeps cutting out?
Before tours.
I mean, it's fucking creepy, dude. I'm sorry. That's not... Like, for me to give grace would be like, well, she's a theater kid, right? She's an actress. She's being over the top. But like,
no, it's deeper than that.
Eyes, and like, it's not just one clip. It's not just two clips. Like, it's just like every time you watch her. Oh shit, I don't want to lose that one. Every time you watch her, to Dan's point, it's kind of fucking scary in a lot of ways.
Let me tell y'all, just count your blessings, because I'm halfway about to just cut my eyelid off.
We said our prayer and we asked the Lord to protect us.
To the students, unable to understand, really.
Yo! Oh my god!
I don't know a portion of where I sit today.
Oh my god, it's like she's looking at
I
me.
was standing in the ticket line. We'll meet for dinner.
No, of course. But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that he's sovereign, but he's just.
Yo,
So
this
let the
woman
Lord
is out of her goddamn mind.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing?
I don't even know if I should be making
What, the
videos about this
conspiracy
fucking
collection?
lunatic.
Get it before Christmas. Like
I'm not falling asleep with my closet door open tonight. No way.
burn the city down,
What?
march in the streets.
Yo.
And if God's merciful enough,
Oh my god.
to stop.
Yo, what
I
the
mean,
fuck?
Guys, that's fucking.
Yo,
it's
I would
creepy.
love to hang
And
out with Nate and
there's
just
a lot
get
more
drunk
we're gonna
and
watch,
just
too.
watch this shit and make a
Before
video.
we get into what I think's really going on here.
Everybody thinks we should all.
I'm not
mourn a
asking for
certain
any
way.
favors though. I gotta get
well,
my
until you
get my
walk a
subs up.
mile in someone else's shoes, don't lecture people.
100%.
Everybody.
I'm going to disagree with that. Because what Erika keeps doing is she keeps going on all of these podcasts and she keeps saying,
She's putting herself out there.
Why won't people just leave me alone? Why won't you just give me my privacy? Have you heard her say that?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
can't we just
yeah.
have our
Meanwhile,
privacy?
she didn't want her privacy. She didn't want her privacy when they were having the wake. You know, she's saying goodbye to Charlie's fake body for the last time. She didn't want her privacy that day, but she wants privacy after. She wants to ask for privacy during her book tour. Like, yo, give me a fucking break.
And it's like, because 48 hours after your husband got shot in the fucking throat on live TV, you started your podcast tour. She started her podcast tour within 48 hours. And so you're going, if you put yourself, anyone who puts yourself in the media space, like, you're going to open yourself up for criticism. Happens to me. I get attacked all the time. You guys see that, just like every creator does. And so for her, what I think the entire point was, is I think what TPUSA thought, and I may be wrong, but this is what I think TPUSA thought. I think TPUSA thought that we can shove Erika Kirk into the CEO position because she's the grieving widow. And what that gives us is that gives us this huge defensive barrier against criticism. You can't look into our company. You can't look into anything sketchy that we had going on. You can't look.
Yeah. They think that once they get away with murder and they have Erika Kirk in the position, then they can get away with murder. You know what I mean? Like think about it. Of course. You know, it's like, and just think about it. If they really did kill Charlie Kirk to take over Turning Point USA, if they were willing to do that, you have to think about why they were willing to do that and what they're planning to do after. You know what I mean? Like, because if they're willing to kill Charlie Kirk and whore off Erika Kirk or Erika Franz V, if her parents are willing to whore off their own daughter so that they can kill Charlie Kirk and take Turning Point USA, there has to be a pretty big plan. There has to be some really, really big fucking thing going on that they have planned that has to be worth it. You know, am I the only one who's like thinking about this and then thinking about how quick they are to endorse JD Vance and then thinking about JD Vance's connection with Peter Thiel and Palantir and how all of a sudden first we had all the immigrants coming in, now we got the ICE agents and the cops. They all have this Palantir software where they can look into your bank accounts when they pull you over. Like you know what I mean? Like, I got a lot of things firing up here. A lot of different directions that things can go, and none of them are good. None of them are good. I think we're all in a lot of trouble. I think that we're in a lot of trouble, and that the people that have all these plans for the world, that they looked at Charlie Kirk and they're like, wow, like this guy really believes in Jesus. He is a true believer. Like, this could be a problem because we're about to do some really evil shit. And if he's already questioning us on this and he's raising questions and you know, comics like Dave Smith are hammering our voices like Josh Hammer, and Tucker Carlson is, you know, Epstein this, Mossad that. Now, like, what's going to happen when we do all this evil shit? Who's he going to bring on? Now he's talking about bringing on Candace Owens back. Like, he's got to go. He's got to go. Like, it wasn't just about Gaza. It wasn't just about Epstein. It's about what they're going to do. Okay? They didn't kill Charlie Kirk to cover up the things that we already know. Okay? Charlie Kirk is dead because people were worried about what he was going to do, the plans he was going to stop in the future. And that's where everybody's heads need to be right now. That's what we need to think about. What is the plan? What is going on now? What has changed? What positions has Turning Point had? What positions has Turning Point changed? What are they pushing right now? Where is all this going? Where is all this leading to? And then once you start to figure that out, then you're like, oh wow, we're in a lot of trouble.
Look into all the weird shit that happened at the Charlie Kirk assassination. You're not allowed to criticize that because of the grieving widow CEO. The grieving widow CEO emotionally blackmails the country and says, you're not allowed to look into what happened to Charlie Kirk. Because TPUSA sure as fuck didn't, right? And so any criticism of the FBI or any criticism of the weird shit going on with TPUSA or any criticism of the fact that Charlie Kirk himself said right before he got killed that he was done with the pro-Israel movement, any criticism of that gets automatically shut down and deflected because you're attacking a grieving widow, and you're not allowed to do that. And I think that was TPUSA.
Kind of like how you're not allowed to criticize Israel. You say anything about Israel, it's anti-Semitic. Same playbook. Same playbook.
A strategy from the very beginning. Now, was that done by Erika Kirk herself? Was that a ploy by people like Andrew Colvett to shove her into that position? I don't know that for sure, but that's very, very clearly what the entire intent behind this was. And to put her on this podcast tour, right? Again, the grieving widow. Which you would have thought, I guess maybe that could have worked. It worked for the evangelicals, I guess. We saw it with the giant fucking fireworks and the memorial and the 97 podcasts she did, and then AmFest, more Goldberg WWE entrances.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, you're not allowed to criticize that. Right? We saw it everywhere. Somebody said, "You think I'm drunk?" I haven't even finished my first drink. I haven't even finished one drink, dude. In an hour and 20 minutes, we're on our first drink. Jesus Christ. Some of you guys are fucking retarded. Not my community, but some of the idiots that come in here. To think that a giant man as big as I am gets drunk off half a glass. Holy shit. Holy shit. All right. We got way more to talk about with Erika Kirk still. We're not done. We're not even close to done. Here's one right here.
He somehow had it coming. What do you say to people who justified his death?
You're sick. He's a human being. You think he deserved that?
All right, this is beyond obvious. I feel like we should be past this and we should all agree on this at this point. The most obvious thing for me is like the robotic expressions and like the misplaced anger. It's like insanely obvious. If somebody told me that I looked this way when I lie, I literally wouldn't go outside. I would just fucking keep practicing because this is actually really bad. I'm not even being funny.
She forgave.
It's safe
she
to say
forgave
at this
Tyler
point,
Robinson
this woman
right
is not
away.
grieving. She's grieving.
Wouldn't she just?
100%.
If she was a real Christian,
At first, I just thought it.
If she was a real Christian, right, and she really forgave Tyler Robinson, would she be sitting there with the mean faces? They're sick. Just stop. No, she wouldn't. I'm sorry. She would be like, pray for them. Please pray for them. They need Jesus more than anybody. Right? Like, doesn't that make sense? You got the CEO of Turning Point USA, the trad wife of Charlie Kirk, calling people sick. You know? No, she would be saying, pray for them. They need Jesus. Well, that's what I think. When I see everything going on in the world, and I see all this stuff going on in Gaza, I don't sit there hoping bad things happen to Israel or happen to the IDF soldiers. When I see people get hurt, I don't say, "Oh, good, they deserve it." You know, like all these people on the right talking about Renee Good. I don't say, "Oh, what do they expect? Fuck around and find out. She had it coming. They have it coming. That's what happens." No, I actually feel bad. I feel empathy. I say like, oh my God, please Jesus, find these people and save their souls so that they don't hurt each other or themselves or anybody. Like, that's my initial reaction. That's my thought process. You know? So, I don't know. The fact that I think like that, I think that helped me see through Erika Kirk's bullshit faster too.
It was who that got him. It seemed pretty obvious. It still does, but now it seems she's directly involved. I just seen a picture of her with Netanyahu's son.
Yep.
Who Charlie declined to go see days before he died. Who he was pushing away from his interests days before he died. So.
Yeah, and Charlie did not like
this
Netanyahu,
is obvious.
by
like
the
this
way,
girl,
or
why
Ben
are you not at
Shapiro.
home taking care of the kids? They just lost their dad. You're doing a press run. Like, you guys know that, right? This is
they
a
just
media
lost their
run.
mom,
This
too,
is like
because
the
now they're
same
living
thing
with
as
the,
Ariana Grande and
grandparents.
her sleep paralysis demon on tour. Like she's doing a press run, like it's for a movie or something. Make no mistake about it. We are being force fed her because she's willing to play ball and Charlie wasn't. In the way.
Whew.
I don't think it's because she was willing to play ball. I think she was always part of the plan. I don't think Erika Kirk is making any decisions right now. She is a puppet. She is a conduit for the deep state and the decisions with Turning Point USA. She's not making any decisions. She's not playing ball. You think Benjamin Netanyahu is calling up Erika Kirk, asking her if she wants to take that money? And if she's willing, you know what I mean? Like, come on, wake up, people. Fucking wake up.
We've never done this poll before. I don't know if anybody's done this poll before. but we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing the poll. And this is the community. This isn't me. I don't even want to give my opinion on this one because it's so fucked up. But we'll let the chat decide. Okay. And as we talk about the bizarreness, let's pull
Hold on. Yo, I really didn't know he was playing my thing today. Yo, he really likes this video. This is like the third time he's played it. Nobody even messaged me this time either. He said, like I said, I watched this episode last night, but I came in after Ian. So he was already like getting past the Erika Kirk stuff, and he was talking more about Matt Walsh. But he said, oh, we played earlier, but I didn't know if he meant earlier like tonight or in the past.
Channel RealBayes here and show this clip again as well. Just weird shit going on. You know, just some
Shout
weird
out
shit.
to
This was
Valhalla.
again right after, what was this? 12 hours after he was killed?
Look at those hands. Look at images 4 and 5. How much bigger Charlie's hands are than Erika's. Then look at the hand sizes in 1, 2, and 3. This is what I was talking about. This guy knows what he's talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. You tell me.
Shabbat shalom.
Hold on, I gotta hear it again.
Shabbat shalom. I'd always say, baby, I don't care what time you get home.
Is anyone else surprised that Erika Kirk didn't care what time Charlie got home? Just saying. And you see the difference? We just listened to Charlie speak. It's inspiring. It was moving. Listening to him speak about Israel and about the Jewish religion made me fast for Yom Kippur. Yo, I don't get that. That's not a joke, by the way. That's not a joke, by the way. That is true. That is true. I really did fast for Yom Kippur this year, and it was miserable. And I went. It was like 25 hours, no food, no water. I mean, I did cheat a little bit. I was still smoking at the time. I tried to smoke a couple cigarettes to like make it easier for me, and oh my god, it made it so much worse. I was at like hour 20. I'm like, I need something. Maybe if I smoke a cigarette. But like my mouth, I had such a nasty taste in my mouth, and it was so dry. The one good thing that came out of that though was after that I quit smoking. Like it was like a month later, I quit smoking. I haven't smoked since. But yeah. I really did. That wasn't a joke. And to anybody out there, just so you know. I listened to Erika. Like both things can be true. Both things can be true. I think.
Yep.
Nate, thanks for playing.
I want to show you guys this because this really, really bothered me the first time I saw it. Just from the theatrics of it all. And this was, again, supposedly the day that she was brought onto the show for the first time. I just want you to watch her. And think about this. We've all dated. We've had boyfriends and girlfriends, wives. I just want you to just is this the way normal people act? Just normal people in a relationship. Let's take a look.
Hello. I'm not going to be able to focus looking right at you. I'm just going to be staring at you.
Hello.
Oh. Wow.
Ready, Terrell?
Hold on.
We're rolling?
We're not.
All right, you'll be switching. All right, I'll count it down.
Wait. I'm kind of nervous, you guys.
She's nervous, which is why we must get going. All right, we ready?
No.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Charlie Kirk Show.
You're going to have to do it again.
Introduce yourself.
Is that what you're going to say?
She can't focus. I just can't focus when I'm looking at you. Look, guys, you guys know I like Charlie, but Charlie is not a good-looking guy. Okay, let's just fucking relax. The fact that she's acting like this, I can't even focus when he's in the room. Guys, this is not how men or women act. It's not. This is like, it's been fucking theatric since way before this happened.
See, one thing with that though, like, if you look back at when Charlie Kirk was on the Patrick Bet David podcast after the October 7th tragedy, and he saw everything mapped out. And he talked about, he called out asking if there was a stand down order, how the time it takes that it would have taken for reinforcements to come, and how it took 6 hours. Like, he was able to call bullshit on that right away, and he wasn't afraid to do so. With Iran, so when it comes to geopolitics and politics in general, his IQ was so high. He was so quick to identify bullshit and to call it out. How could he have not seen through such a bad actress like Erika Kirk? You know, and I'm not going to lie. That's what has me back and forth on if he's even dead, because there's no way that someone that smart is going to, like, think with his dick that much where he, like, allows himself to be that vulnerable and blind. It's just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Unless he was autistic. If he was autistic, and because people with autism, they don't understand the same social cues. You know what I mean? Like things go over their heads. And that would make sense. So I would really like to find out. I know Candace, I believe she said at one point that she thought that Charlie might have been autistic, that he went to some kind of like special school or something. But I think that's something that's really worth looking into, because that's the only way that I could possibly, like, forget all the other stuff, like, oh, Charlie was ugly or whatever. Like, hey, listen, I don't look at guys like that. I'm not sitting there like measuring, like, oh yeah, if I was a girl, I would, like, I don't think like that. I will say, knowing women, because I do like to believe I know women pretty well. I will say this: in my experience with women and what women want, and what the features and attributes that women find attractive in men, it's not as much on the face as you might think. Not as much, not the same way that it is with guys and girls. Like, guys, they're much more vain and shallow in that aspect. With women, they want someone assertive, they want someone dominant, they want someone confident, they like tall, they like funny. So Charlie was like 6'5". He's running a company, very assertive. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that he would find a girl that like, you just see their headshots in a picture and you think it's a bad match. When you put the whole thing together, I don't know. It's just my take.
Yeah, Charlie's a nice looking guy, right? But to act like, for her to act like she's staring down the fucking barrel of Brad Pitt, I can't even look at you. I can't look at you. I can't focus. I can't even focus when you're in the room.
Yeah, you would think that Charlie would see that a mile away.
That's the theater. That's all theater. Oh, look at Mega. He's better looking than you. Oh, guys, you don't get that. That's not my point. Yeah, I wouldn't expect,
unless of course that she was just acting like that for the show and that was like part of their plan. That would make sense too. But if she was like acting like that at home, you know what I mean, where it's just them alone and she's like acting like that, like, how would he not see through that? And could you imagine if that was the case? Like, if Charlie was autistic and that's like how she like roped him in, imagine. And like, I mean, there's a lot of jokes and stuff I could say right now, but I don't know how far I want to push it. But if that, whatever, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. Maybe another time.
I wouldn't expect, my wife doesn't act that way around me either. If I were to walk out into the room and my wife was like, oh my God, I can't even focus with you in the room right now. I would be like, Brittany, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what, stop being fucking weird. And then we'd go about our day. Right? What do you mean you can't focus? I'm not that good looking, right? Like, it's all, again, the whole thing, it's obvious.
Also, now seeing how much experience she has in front of a camera and all the years that she was doing interviews, like she's sitting there asking Jessica Alba questions, no problem, doing these other interviews, no problem, and all of a sudden she's with her husband on camera on a podcast, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm nervous. Like, it doesn't make sense at all. The woman is completely full of shit. Completely full of shit.
It's just been weird, bizarre fucking theatrics from the very beginning. And it's everywhere, man. It hasn't fucking stopped. Like, again, here's more.
Someone
Like, for all of you who are married here, what would you think if 60 days after you got fucking assassinated, got shot in the throat on live TV, if your wife was on a podcast tour and fucking throwing merch out to crowds during WWE fireworks entrances? Would that be normal? Would you not be turning in your grave? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, does anybody think any of this is normal? Oh, real quick, also, if you guys didn't know this, apparently Erika Kirk actually broke a world record. Let's see what that was.
Erika Kirk has officially set the world record for shortest flight in a private jet again. All right, so last week, Erika Kirk took a 3-mile private jet flight, and this week, she took a flight that was only 2 miles. I feel like at this point, she's watching my videos and trolling with us. We all know how much that woman loves screen time. The 2-mile flight she took this week was in Los Angeles, and it's actually the same exact flight Taylor Swift took. The reason Erika Kirk took this super short private jet flight is simply so she didn't have to sit in traffic. This 1-minute long private jet flight saving her from a 30-minute drive, which I can't even blame her. If she's saving 29 minutes with flying, that basically means that she has 29 more minutes on Fox News. It's not exactly clear on who was actually on this private jet flight, though a lot of people are speculating online that it could be JD Vance. And even though this flight is only 1 mile long, it's using over 180 gallons of fuel, and that translates to 2 tons of CO2 emissions, which is crazy when you realize the average person only uses 4 tons a year. Erika Kirk is doing that in 1 minute. And
meanwhile, they don't want you to eat meat. They're so worried. They're so worried about the CO2. I'm not going to make this a big rant. But, they're talking about, social credit scores and carbon scores and everybody's carbon footprint. And they want your social credit score and your carbon score to, line up. This is the type of stuff, people in America, most people don't even know about this, let alone know that it's already happening in other parts of the world and that they're already trying to roll it out here with the social credit scores. But they want to limit how much carbon you use. Why do you think they Bill Gates with the fake meat and all this other crap going on? They want us eating less meat because they say that the cow farts are emitting too much carbon. But then they let assholes like this fly 2 miles. Disgusting.
1 minute and 35-minute flight. Erika Kirk's out there breaking records, ladies and gentlemen. Not breaking the records you would think would be good. Again, what are we at? 4 months since Charlie was killed. Anybody else think that's just kind of fucking bizarre? Also, where's all this money coming from? TPUSA? Nonprofit? Maybe it's from the GoFundMe that's raised, I don't know how many millions of dollars at this point. Which they got us.
We
donated the proceeds to one of the live streams the first week Charlie was killed. Which, I don't regret that we did that. Looking back on it, I am like, wow. Not great, but
Nate, don't forget, Candace said after her meeting with Erika that the one thing that Turning Point USA was most upset about was when Candace Owens told people to stop sending them money. All the accusations, all the allegations, all the different footage and this and that and things that she said about different people. But the one thing that they cared about was the money.
Now we feel a little bit scammed.
I told you. The day at the memorial, when she was giving that speech, I'm like, something is not right. The second I saw the footage that she had a camera on while she was over the casket, I'm like, this woman is full of shit. They fucking murdered this guy. They killed him. They took his company.
Let's start taking a look at some of the other just bizarre clips. We're going to get back to one of Dan's videos.
And Erika Kirk's last name is Franzve. That sounds about as French as you can get. Not that that matters, but listen to this.
Hi, I'm Erika Franzve, and today I have the honor of interviewing Tim Ralston, the survival expert on everything. My name is Erika Franzve, and we're going to be scouting around talking to all of the participants that are here for the conference. Guys, I'm Erika, your host today for The Buzz. I'm here with our gorgeous June girl crush, Jessica Alba. Thank you for watching the Webathon live here on Wake Up.
She doesn't look that nervous in all those clips. She looks pretty comfortable in the camera. Look at that smile. But she was so nervous when she got on camera next to Charlie. Yo, Nate, what is going on with your sound? How come I can't hear you?
Steve Wozniak, Thomas Gorney, Pat Waters, and so many more because of your activity on social media.
She was everywhere, but she was Erika Franzve. And we didn't know.
Yeah, hashtag NextCon16 was not only trending on Twitter, but we have raised nearly $17,000 that Nextiva will donate to a local Arizona nonprofit for businesses. Do you have
See, I'm
any
not
advice
surprised
for
by
that?
any of this.
So,
In fact, the only thing I'm surprised about is that
Pretty sure this is the guy
Project
that owns
Constitution
Banana
didn't
Ball,
get this out sooner.
by the way.
in person, and you're not really
Man, I should have posted these clips
the
when I
person who will
found
go
them.
outside of their box. How would you recommend? Or
I didn't find all of them. I
tell
saw the
someone,
Jessica Alba
this is
one.
how you get
But I
outside
wasn't
your
really
box.
looking.
This
I
is how you
didn't
stand
like.
out.
I
This is
thought
how
this
you
was like
become
common
different
knowledge.
with your company.
It gets way worse.
People keep saying it was just different faith backgrounds. Nah, don't kid yourself. What she had wasn't faith. It was loyalty to this shadow group nobody talks about in public. The synagogue of Satan. Think Illuminati energy, but without the means. Real old families, real money, real power. They don't recruit people. They place people. And
See,
she
I've
wasn't a
seen
spouse.
this, but when I see something like this, where it's like, you know, you don't see the face, they got the voice changer on it. It's like that could be anything. That's not, you know, like I need to at least know who was conducting this interview. You know what I mean? Like if this interview is being conducted by somebody credible, then yeah, it gives it credibility. But when I just see this on the internet like this, it's like, I don't know. This doesn't change my opinion in any way. I can make a video like this.
She was a placement. When Charlie figured that out, dude was wrecked. He told me straight up he was getting ready to leave her. Divorce papers weren't maybe. They were coming. He finally realized his whole marriage was basically orchestrated. Like some dark force cast her into his life. And then, shocker, he's dead a few days later. And that's what
Also,
I'm telling you right now.
Also, if somebody close to Charlie made a video like this, you don't think that the people that are really behind it would have been able to figure out who this was in about 3 seconds? You know what I mean?
Out to the public, that is not the book he wrote. They rewrote whole sections. They stuck in weird spiritual stuff you never believed in. They twisted the tone, the message, everything. It's a cover job, man. They're money.
Could be legit, but I take it with a grain of salt.
I don't know if what that person right there is saying is true, which is the fact that Erika was emplaced and that once Charlie figured that out, they were going to get a divorce, all that. What I will say, though, is what we do know is what Erika Kirk did with TPUSA after Charlie was killed. And that was to try to rewrite Charlie's legacy. We have all seen that from start to finish. What has TPUSA tried to do from the first minute Charlie was killed? They tried to Shabbat Shalom, right?
Yeah.
They tried to rewrite Charlie's legacy in that Charlie is just the biggest supporter and grifter for.
And now, isn't there some documentary being done about Charlie Kirk by an Israeli or somebody pro-Israel, where they're trying to like really put a focus on Charlie's love for Israel and that he was like their biggest supporter? They are totally pissing on this guy's grave. Totally pissing on his grave. You think they're going to talk about the text message he sent 48 hours before he was killed about how he's felt forced to leave the pro-Israel cause because of the way that the donors were treating them, or the issues he was having with Jewish donors that he was saying himself in those words? That's him, not me. I mean, even you look at the day before he was killed. If you watch the interview that he did with Ben Shapiro the day before he was killed, he was taking shots, and Ben was not happy. Ben was not happy. Ben looks really pissed off in that interview. And Charlie's going with some of the stereotypes. Like, oh yeah, you know, Jews run the media, right? Like he was being a wise ass about it. Which also, now that I think about it, makes me question whether or not Charlie could have been autistic. Because he knew, like he was very sarcastic. He was very sarcastic, like at different times too. So I don't think social cues really went over his head. So this whole thing is weird. Who knows? Maybe the guy's really not even dead.
For our greatest ally, and he never wavered once. And even though he turned down $100 million from our greatest ally, and the second that he was killed, 48 hours later, TPUSA then took that same cash injection into their company that Charlie turned down. Right? They were, and she specifically has tried to rewrite her husband's legacy and what he really believed in. And we know that that's not true. We've seen the text messages. Candace Owens put those fucking text messages out for everyone to see. And even TPUSA and Andrew Colvett had to come out and admit, yes, they're real. Yes, Charlie said that. Yes, Charlie was tired of being bullied by his Jewish donors. We know that.
And let's not forget, I know I bring it up a lot, and I'm going to keep bringing it up. Right before Erika's meeting with Candace, she was on the Glenn Beck show, where she said that Charlie was not messaging people that he was worried he was going to be killed, that she had his phone, and she would know if he did. And then like 2 days later, or a week later, whatever it was, she meets with Candace, and then she's telling Candace, like, oh yeah, it was on his signal. I didn't see it. I didn't know. It's like, what? And then no pushback from Candace? You know what I mean? Like, Candace isn't, like, questioning her. Like, what do you mean you didn't check his signal? Like, what do you mean the feds or the CIA or nobody intelligence? Nobody found these messages. And even if you're stupid enough to believe that, then you have to consider the fact that those messages were sent to people that work for Erika. Dan Flood and Andrew Colvette and who knows who else. Even Frank Turek was quoted saying that he had told Charlie to up his security. We don't know who else Charlie sent those messages to. Whoever that guy was, if that was real, the blacked out, deep changed voice guy, if that's real, that's a third person. Fourth, if you can't, Frank Turek. Charlie could have been telling everybody. You know what I mean? Like, so much of this doesn't add up. So much of this doesn't add up. It seems like Tyler Robinson's defense isn't really trying to win this case. They're not taking any of the whatever. It's a whole. It's just so obvious. It's just so obvious.
September 17th, 2025. Who did they have on Charlie Kirk's show? They had the Daily Wire. 6 days after he was shot in the face. Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh,
well, of course,
Michael
Ben Shapiro
Knowles,
said that he was going
Andrew
to pick
Colvette.
up Charlie's bloody
Days.
microphone and continue to carry the message. He was going to carry
After
the torch.
Charlie was murdered, they hijack his fucking show with the Daily Wire, the Hasbro
Even though Charlie was all about
Days.
Jesus, and Ben Shapiro says that Jesus was, just another
And
Jew who
what
got
did we
killed
also
for his
learn?
troubles trying to
We
rebel against
also
the
learned
Romans.
that Charlie Kirk hated fucking Ben Shapiro's guts. Because Ben Shapiro tried
Shapiro's
to
a real
destroy
piece of shit.
him and Candace Owens' career early in like 2014, 2015. He fucking hated Ben Shapiro. That's why Ben Shapiro wasn't invited to AmFest 2025. But do you know why? Ben Shapiro, he spoke at AmFest. We all saw his weird, bizarre attack a rant where he attacked everybody at AmFest. Ben Shapiro was added to AmFest 2025 after Charlie was killed. They already had the entire cast set. Ben Shapiro was added after Charlie was killed. Charlie didn't want him there.
That's good to know.
Who added him? Well, who do you think fucking added him? Erika Kirk added him because she was running the show. And why would Erika
You're
Kirk?
putting it all on Erika, though. I'm telling you, Erika is not making any decisions. She's not. She's a fucking bimbo. She's playing the part. She's playing the role of the person who's making the decisions. This woman's all this woman's worried about is getting her lines right and looking good on camera. Please.
Add Ben Shapiro in the Daily Wire.
Give her way too much credit.
Well, I think we all know that. I think we already.
The woman's not even worried about what's going on with her kids. You think she's worried about, you think she's making decisions? She's not even making decisions about what's going on with her children right now. You think she's really making any decisions with Turning Point? Please.
We all know why. That's our greatest ally. And that's what it's become a mouthpiece for. So I think we know who she is at this point. She's an actress. She's a plant. I think we know she has deep connections to the military industrial complex, to the CIA, to our intelligence apparatuses through her mom and dad, through her networks. We know that. So what is her role now? What do you guys think her role is now as the CEO of Turning Point USA?
I just told you. Her role is she's playing the role of the CEO of Turning Point. She's a front man. She's a face. She's not making any decisions. For all we know, she's not even deciding what she's going to wear. I think there's a better chance that she's being told what she's going to wear on any given day than that she's making any decisions for Turning Point USA. Like, let's just get that clear.
What's her entire job? Her entire fucking purpose is to be a MAGA Israel first fucking mouthpiece and to use TPUSA as a leverage point to do it.
Of course, it's to push the Zionist agenda.
That's it.
Just an actress. They just tell her what to say, tell her what to do, tell her where to go.
Some clips from some other people and some other creators. There's Andy Frisella talking about what he thinks is going on.
This shit to the motherfucking bank. They're going to run her for president with Vance. That is what they're going to do.
Nah, I don't
okay?
think so.
They are building her up into the new leader of the Republican youth to run her with Vance.
Maybe they
have
wanted
some
to.
sort of female running with Vance.
That was probably the plan in the beginning, but I don't think they anticipated how many people were going to care about this as much as they did. And they weren't anticipating how much work and effort people were going to be putting in to uncover the truth and dig to the bottom of every single rabbit hole and find out all the details. They weren't anticipating Ian Carroll to do the research, you, Nate, to make the videos with the guns and showing what 30-06 could do, Baron Coleman with all of his research work, with Google Trends and everything else, Blake Bednar's, all of his videos, like all these different people that are looking at this from every angle. Project Constitution doing and Finance Wolves like this. Sorry, I can't name everybody. Obviously, Candace Owens. I'm sure they anticipated her, but you know what I mean? Like, there are so many people that are just digging and searching and going down every rabbit hole and finding every little detail and cross-referencing data and trying to figure everything out. They weren't anticipating that. A lot of information came out that they probably never thought would come out. So Erika Kirk is way too toxic. Way too toxic. She's not going to get run. I'd be shocked. If they run Erika Kirk for vice president, then they just really don't give a fuck. Then it really doesn't matter because the elections really don't matter anyway, because our elections in this country, like the deep state, the people that are really behind everything, that really make the decisions, they use the primaries to pick the two people. So when the people vote and they have the election, it doesn't matter whether it's this one or this one. The geopolitical, the world domination, the keeping America at the top, the control, the money being spent, the money being stolen, information being gathered, all the things that really, really matter to these people, it doesn't matter who you vote for. They're going to get the same result. So if they still run Erika Kirk as vice president with J.D. Vance, then it's because they just really don't give a fuck.
Vance.
Yeah.
And
if you can't attack her now, you're definitely gonna be able to attack her later.
And dude, there's all these text messages that have Charlie saying, "Hey man, I'm really starting to have my doubts about what's going on with this Israel situation. They want me to do this and that. I'm not going to do those things." And then all of a sudden, he's gone and she's in. And to find out, when we started digging into these airplane things, these airplanes were following Charlie. They're following her.
Right.
So, I'm sorry if that upsets people, but dude, these are the fucking facts, bro. Take this shit to the motherfucker.
Their entire role is to facilitate and do everything they can to put J.D. Vance into office in 2028 as the Israel first candidate. And they're going to use TPUSA.
It's actually deeper than that. It's actually deeper than that. What they're trying to do with turning, that's a facet. That's a part. Like, obviously, we know that J.D. Vance is going to be their guy and that they're going to do everything they can to get people to vote for him. But Turning Point USA, it's not just about one election. They're trying to control the minds of the youth, especially of the Christians. They are. If you look at those FARA documents where it shows that over 500 Christian churches on the West Coast were being basically targeted by Israel to get spammed with pro-Israel propaganda and show them pictures and images of October 7th to try to get sympathy for Israel while they're at church. What Turning Point USA and what the government is trying to do is they're trying to separate Christians from Jesus. People are trying to connect with Jesus. They're trying to find their faith. They're feeling their faith more. They're feeling more connected with God. But what Turning Point USA is really doing is they're tricking people into thinking that they're closer to God and they're connecting with Jesus, when in reality they're trying to keep them separated from Jesus. You're trying to keep them in line. Keep them believing in the church, not believing in the scripture. Believing that Israel is the chosen people and that that's the way to God, when in reality it's the opposite. They're trying to push the Zionist agenda and make that a part of their beliefs, thinking that Zionism equals Jesus and being close to Jesus, when it's anything but.
And they're going to use Erika Kirk to push that message.
But it's not just Erika Kirk. They're using people like Nick Shirley too. And Nate, I know you said that your buddy, who was it, JD? You said. I know you said one of your buddies is a big fan of Nick Shirley, but Nick Shirley is a plant. But he has all those same connections. Utah, Church of Latter-day Saints, which is also a big common denominator with Turning Point USA, especially Tyre Boyer. And then J.D. Vance giving him the rub right away. Like, there's a lot of red flags there. A lot of red flags there. And, you know, my point is, it's not just Erika Kirk and Turning Point. There's going to be a lot of plans. There are a lot of people that they're trying to build up. And with Nick Shirley, giving him a real fraud scandal, that's a great way to boost his credibility and give him credibility. And he was also there on January 6th, if I'm not mistaken, which is another red flag. But you're going to see a lot of people just come out of the blue, or that have been around, that all of a sudden they're going to get this big boost and get the rub from people like J.D. Vance, and you're going to see them all over the news, and, you know, they're going to have this story out of nowhere, and they're going to go viral. You're going to see them everywhere. And then all of a sudden, it's going to come election season, and they're going to be trying to lead all the sheep. That's just the way it goes.
And they're going to use Erika Kirk again as an emotional blackmail candidate, potentially as a vice president. I wouldn't be shocked to see J.D. Vance run with Erika Kirk as a VP.
Again, I don't think that's
because she becomes an unattackable political candidate. There is nothing better than an unattackable political candidate. Oh, well, you can't attack Erika Kirk, the grieving widow of evangelical sensation and martyr Charlie Kirk. Can't say anything negative about him. Have to support him. Have to support anything that she supports, aka our greatest ally. Now, I don't know if they're going to run her necessarily, but they are going to use TPUSA and her as a leverage.
If they were smart, they would run with Tulsi. Just saying.
Bridge point to push that agenda. And we're already seeing it. We're already seeing that. It's already what they're doing. Is it going to work? I don't know. We could probably do a poll on that. Let's see what the poll thought. Was Erika Kirk involved? Wow. That's rough, boys and girls. 91% said yes. Again, I'm not going to give my opinion because I don't want to get clipped and I don't want to get in trouble. But chat has decided, nearly a lot of people in here have decided that yes, they believe so. Let's see.
91 seems kind of low to me. And just wait, if we end up in a conflict with Iran, she's going to be supporting that too. Or you'll see people from Turning Point supporting that too and trying to rationalize. They'll probably even throw out there like, yeah, you know, Charlie, he was against it then, but, you know, if he was here now, like, I would not be surprised if I heard something like that coming out of them. Because as we all know, Charlie Kirk was dead set. He showed up at the White House to ask Trump, like, what are you doing? This is bad. Don't do this. And a lot of people, myself included, I know Barron feels this way too, thinks that that may have a lot to do with why he's not here today. Again, remember what I said before. If they were willing to take him out and do everything they didn't do it to cover up things that have already been done. They did it because they were worried about what influence he was gonna have that would stop the plans that they have. Things they haven't done yet.
I don't see anything else at this point that, like, the whole grieving widow thing is long gone. And I believe I got something heard talking about the midterms. Yeah, here we go. It's like, here's this right here. Like, and this is exactly to my point. about what she really has going on. Like, why is she even talking about this?
So yes, midterms, it might get a little messy, but we're ready for it and we're mission driven for it. And I hope that you'll be a part of it with us. Charlie. And so yes, midterms, it might get a little messy, but we're ready for it and we're mission driven for it. And I hope that you'll be a part of it with us.
Your husband, at the point of this filming, just got shot in the face 90 days ago. 90 days ago from the point of this filming, your husband got shot in the face on live TV.
And just look at the range in the faces that she makes. Isn't that the same interview where she did the whole, was that the one where she said just stop? I know she was angry, you know, and they were talking about Candace Owens. Big range. 1 second she's really mad, dirty looks, looking fucking evil and demonic. And then talking about the midterms and JD. She's like, I hope you'll be there with us. She's an actress.
And you're talking about the midterms? Really? That's your concern? The midterms? My concern would be my children at home that don't have a father. Not what are we going to do a year from now in 2026 in the Republican midterms?
Yeah, but Nate, the children have their grandparents. That's why they're living with them.
It's not good, guys. All right, we got one more thing to talk about with TPUSA. Erika Kirk, before we jump into talking about Lance Twiggs and Tyler Robinson. Jesse on Fire just dropped this video tonight, which is fucking crazy. Talking about connections of TPUSA to Michael Aquino, if you didn't know, one of the lead Satanists in the United States history.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
Being connected to TPUSA.
That's really crazy.
If you haven't seen this episode, it's fantastic. We're going to watch a little bit of it together.
And that also reinforces my theory that right now they want to use Turning Point USA to separate people from Jesus while they think they're getting closer to Jesus. Whatever, he's going to get into it now.
Jesse just put this out, but it's fucking just more weird, gross stuff from TPUSA.
Be true at once. Okay, so I'm going to show you that. But first, we're going to be looking at this, okay? Because in case you guys didn't hear, there is a new release 159 page. Okay, so Michael Aquino is a completely established, well-known Satanist that was a colonel in the military. He wrote Mind Wars. I've known all about this guy for years. And apparently, he has ties to, hang on. So Aquino, there is okay, check this out.
Let me pause this real quick.
Aquino co-authored the chilling 1980 paper Mind War with...
I'm going to pause this real quick just to show you who this fucking guy is. So Michael Aquino, look at his eyebrows, by the way. Nothing more Satanist than the curled up eyebrows all the way to the top of the head. High priest in the Church of Satan. And yes, he was actually a specialist in psychological warfare and military intelligence officer in the United States Army as one of America's leading Satanists. And so that's who Jesse's talking about. And yes, being directly connected to TP USA.
Why would Turning Point USA want to have direct connections to a Satanist? Anybody? So Turning Point USA has direct connections to a Satanist, and they're promoting the interests of a foreign nation who the whole basis of their religion now is that Jesus was a nobody, and that foreign nation is targeting churches on the West Coast in the same area that Turning Point USA operates with propaganda for their interests. Like, you understand how, fucked up all this is? And why I have the beliefs that I do? And why I'm so concerned for our country and for Christians? And the influence that our government is trying to push towards Christians in America? The interest that the foreign nation is trying to push on Christians in America? They're trying to separate people from Jesus.
And yeah, this is not made up. This is actually true, which is fucking weird.
Major General Paul Vallely. Okay. That is like Mind War is one of the most well-known documents, at least in the public that looks at all of this stuff. It's the blueprint for psychological warfare on a population.
And we read about this in Army Special Forces and unconventional warfare, this exact thing, using psychological operations on populations when we overthrow governments. So yes, this is a real thing.
I've read it. And he co-wrote it with Michael Vallely, all right? And I'm sorry, Paul Vallely. And apparently, it's about win wars without bullets. Like, that's why it's very much like you read it, you're all, I don't really get, like, why is this a bad thing? But it's about dominating minds without having to kill the whole population, okay? So Vallely, still active, pushes mind war as non-lethal influence, but it's straight up brainwashing. Candace exposed how this doctrine ties military and satanic ops infiltrating Christian fronts to shape narratives, hide scandals, and control the masses. Okay.
It's so scary when you
Vallely,
realize
the co-author of
these
Mind
people
War,
have so
is
much
on
influence in our world.
TPUSA's advisory council.
Let's reinforce what Jesse just said. The co-author. So one of the leading psychological operation and control mechanisms for populaces, the co-author to that book is on TPUSA's advisory fucking council. Why the fuck would TPUSA, an evangelical, not have this fucking guy on their advisory board? I don't know. But he is.
Okay. That is wild because, again, Michael Aquino, who wrote Mind Wars with him, is a straight up global Satanist leader.
Yep.
Okay. A global Satanist leader. I am going to show you. So I'll show you one of his interviews right now. Okay. We're going to look at that first. Then we're going to look at a Jimmy Dore clip about the connection that we talked about earlier in the video. And that is what we're going to do. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel.
Yo, shout out to Jesse on Fire, by the way. I've only seen like one or two of this guy's videos. I'm definitely going to subscribe to him and start watching him more, though. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. And Nate, thank you for all the support and shouting me out and all the great work you do. I appreciate all you guys. But there are a lot of really, really good people in this world that see how screwed up everything is. And they're literally dedicating their lives, whether they're making money or not. I know I sure as hell aren't, but I know these guys are, but God bless them for it. They should. They should. But we're just trying to make the world a better place.
If you don't mind.
Yep, go subscribe to Jesse if you're not already. You probably already are if you watch my channel, but if not.
Because I just, that's what else do. The only way that I grow is if people who watch my content do the right thing and subscribe. And all
right, come on, Jess. Let's go.
Would be the
Yeah, me too, though. Me too. These guys all got a lot more followers and subscribers than I do.
UK. Okay. That would be the UK. And I cannot stress enough. Mouthy Buddha does an entire series on Dauntless Dialogue. And
I don't know how Jesse finds this shit. Like, this is a video from 1998 with 205 subscribers that he was able to dig up and pull up of, again, the co-author of this exact same book that we're talking about being on the advisory board of TPUSA and one of the leading Satanists in America in the 80s and 90s.
He covers this. I can't remember what number it is. I'll tell you guys later.
This guy looks like Eddie Munster all grown up.
But in that one, okay, it actually, whatever. They go through all of these guys who are the exact same generation as Aquino, exactly same generation. They're all dead now. And they went through each of them, like all of the accusations of all this insane ritualistic, SRA. And all of them got knighted. Okay, we're not talking about like, oh, they were in kind of big position. They were all knighted in the UK. Okay, like they had complete control of the government. And one of the ways that is if you ever see those guys and they grow their eyebrows out and then they twist them at the end, that's how you know. That's a real Satanist.
Also, just look at this dude's fucking hair. You can tell this dude is a Satanist. Look at his fucking haircut and his eyebrows.
Caricatured into the Judeo-Christian Satan.
High priest of the Church of Satan.
When you perform rituals, what exactly do you wear?
We normally wear black robes with hoods and the pentagram of Set medallion that you see here. We may wear specialized accoutrements depending upon the style of ritual that we are using. If it's old Germanic, it may be appropriate costume there. If it is American Indian or Mayan or some other background or Egyptian, we would wear appropriate costumes there. We are a religion of practicing magicians, and each and every individual in a ritual is directly involved with it. Many people may come to us with a very distorted idea of what Satanism or what they believe to be devil worship is. If they come to us seeking simply a glorified sex club or some sort of a lawless organization, then they'll be disappointed.
Notice how he said simply a glorified sex club? He didn't just say seeking as so it is definitely a sex club, just with a lot of other perks and amenities and rules.
Because we aren't that.
He's like, listen.
This guy was definitely at the Eyes Wide Shut
like,
parties. Who are you kidding?
You know, have sex to have sex. You know, when we do it, we're trying to birth the Antichrist.
See, Jesse knows what's up.
There's a lot more to it.
I
But
read that
listen,
the same
if we
way.
do feel like, you know, having sex, we obviously have props for that kind of thing. What kind of props? He's all base. Jesse on fire. Is it true?
All right. So, point with this being, again, the co-author that wrote the book on psychological operations with Aquino, one of the world's leading Satanists, is on the advisory board of Turning Point USA. Anybody find that fucking weird? An evangelical nonprofit being advised?
I don't find it weird because I've been saying for months that these people are a bunch of devil worshippers trying to usher in the Antichrist. I don't know how. Like, I don't know how else to put it. I know that that's like a really, really hard idea for people to process and to like realize like what's going on, like who actually runs the world, and that they're not just doing this for money, that there's a lot more to it. But yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. These people are evil. They are narcissists. They do not care about us. They do not care about us. And they do not want us connected with God. Like, there is a real battle of souls going on. And the majority of people are selling their souls. They're like waiting in line, trying to serve them up on a platter. And I won't do it. I will never be one of those people. I won't do it. I won't do it. And, you know, same reason why I'm not going to pander to people. I don't care if I say things that, you know, I don't, you know, like sometimes, like, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I'm not going to like sit here and bite my tongue and pretend that I feel differently about certain situations and certain issues, or pretend that I view things differently and tell people what they want to hear so that they follow me and they like my channel and they share me with their friends and they buy my merch or whatever. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Like, with me, you are going to get me. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to tell you the truth. And sometimes you're going to agree with me and you're going to be like, wow, this guy is pretty damn smart. I'm going to listen to what he says. And sometimes I might say things that you're going to find wildly offensive, or you're going to think that I'm out of my goddamn mind. But that's what it is. If you want somebody real, that's what you got to accept. You take the good with the bad. If you are following somebody that just always agrees with Fox, or they always agree with MSNBC, and they're always towing the party line, they are lying to you. They do not have your interests at heart. And they sure as hell don't believe in God. Because when you really believe in God, and you really believe in Jesus, that's who you answer to. You know that he's always listening. When you speak, your words have power. They have meaning. That's why it's important that you always speak the truth. You don't worry if people are going to like it or not. You don't worry if they, obviously to some degree you want to, but for the most part, when you're speaking from the heart, when you're talking about real issues and you're making a stance and you're trying to influence others, or saying things that may influence others. You speak the truth. You know, like, and these people, they're just all full of shit. They're all full of shit. That's why I get so mad. I do these videos where I'm yelling at the camera and this and that, and people accuse me of, you know, just trying to make some kind of like clickbait, rage bait type content. But that's not true at all. I actually try to restrain myself, believe it or not. I actually try to, I you know, probably need to try harder. But I speak the truth. When you see me all worked up and yelling at the camera, that is a true, honest to God emotional response to what I'm talking about or what I'm seeing. And that was the problem that I had last week with ICE, is when I first saw that video of Renee Good getting shot, I was screaming murder, and that guy should be in jail. And then the first time that I saw the video of, you know, him holding the phone and his angle, I'm like, you know, maybe I fucked up. Like, you know, maybe he did do what he thought was right, and he reacted the way he was trained to. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's flip-flopping. Actually, no. I'll be totally honest, because the majority of my followers and majority of my friends, they're more conservative, and they were happy that I seem to have been changing my mind. But I told them, I'm like, listen, don't be fooled by the clip, because when you see a 40-second clip or a minute-and-a-half clip, it's not always going to have the proper context. I'm saying maybe I was wrong about a couple of clean details. I never thought for sure that it was a clean shooting. I never thought she should have been shot. That I was always 100% about. Like, yeah, I might have been a little light on it and laughed a little bit, which I shouldn't have done in hindsight. But I only did that because I'm hearing all this other horrible crap, too, about how she was abusing her kids and that the girlfriend, she chose the girlfriend over the kids. And I still don't know if that stuff's true or not. But I'm hearing all these other things, and I'm like, wow, I'm sticking up for this person so much. And I don't even know who it is. I don't know anything about this person. And I'm sitting there trying to condemn this guy, saying, oh, that's murder, that's murder. He should lose his job. He should go to jail. And I don't know him either. And I don't even have the whole story, apparently. But then after, like, really further, you know, doing a deeper analysis and going frame by frame, and I will make an episode on this in the very near future. But I went frame by frame with all the different footage from this whole Renee Good situation, and I ran it all through AI, frame by frame. And based on the evidence and the footage that I have accessible to me today, there is nothing there that says that that other officer had the right to try to open her car door. And it shows that Jonathan Ross put himself in that jeopardy, and that basically he never should have pulled his gun. That he never had justification for lethal force. Now, if you want to say whatever you want, oh, well, she was looking, she saw him, she hit the gas, that is true. Do I think she was trying to hit him? No, I think it's very clear that she was trying to pull away, because the wheel is still turning after she shot. Like we know that she was trying to get away. If you want to say that he didn't know that and he thought that she was trying to run him down, that is a fair argument. That's a fair argument. And I don't think saying that's flip-flop. I think that saying that is being objective. But he made a conscious decision to pull that gun. And he got in front of that car. And he shouldn't have been in front of that car. In fact, DHS guidelines say that he shouldn't be positioning himself in front or behind the car. And the whole reason DHS has it, or part of the reason why DHS has these guidelines, is because back in 2013, they did an internal report where they determined that there were at least 67 cases of these Border Patrol agents using their guns when they weren't supposed to. And there was 19 people that were killed. And in a lot of those cases, it was because these agents were getting in front of cars and they're like, oh shit, car's gonna hit us, bang, bang, bang. And they shouldn't have done it. Now, whether or not they were doing that to justify using lethal force, or if it was just, bad training, bad leadership, reckless behavior where they're putting themselves in danger and then saying, oh shit, that's for you guys to decide. I'm not trying to influence you one way or another. I'm not saying that I know for sure that they were purposely getting in front of cars in order to justify using their weapons, but I don't know that they didn't either. But I do know this, that Jonathan Ross was there working while this investigation took place. Now, all the names of the people that were involved in these cases have been redacted, so I don't know if he was one of the people that shot his gun at somebody already or that if he killed somebody else, but that's possible too. And if it wasn't him, I'm sure he knows other people that had done this. So there's a lot more to this whole Renee Good thing than people are taking into consideration or are even aware of. And like, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. I lost a lot of subscribers. I caught so much hate, and so many more people got mad at me for they thought I was taking Renee Good's side. And I said, no, I'm not taking Renee Good. Like, this is not about taking the left or the right side or taking Renee Good against ICE or the protesters against ICE. Like, I don't see it that way. I look at the Constitution. I look at the law. I look at how things are supposed to go. Protocols, the individual situation, the individual case, the accountability for that case, and how it should have gone, and who was accountable, every decision, who made mistakes. And based on my analysis and everything that I've seen, everybody in that situation was wrong. From the agent that tried to open the door to the dumbass girlfriend that was sitting there saying, drive, baby, drive, after antagonizing Jonathan Ross the whole time. Renee Good being stupid enough to hit the gas. Because make no mistake, regardless of whether these agents should have used their gun or not, should have opened the car door or not, she hit the gas, and that's why she's dead. In part. In large part. And I know that this is a very touchy situation, and when I put it in that context, it pisses everybody off. But it is the truth. And I would rather be the guy with under 1,000 followers and subscribers on YouTube that tells the truth and pisses everybody off than be some scumbag like a Steven Crowder or a Ben Shapiro that's going to make all this money and get rich selling their soul, pushing the narrative, peddling bullshit. I'm not going to be that guy. No shot. No shot. And I don't want my kids to be those people either. I don't want my friends to be those people. I'm not going to surround myself with people like that. So, take it how you want. Either accept it, don't accept it. I don't care. I really don't. If I get even 500 followers that watch all my content and interact with me and have my back and really support me, you know, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. If that's how it's going to be, that's how it's going to be. But don't expect me to bend the knee. Don't expect me to be taking money from people to push agendas. Don't expect me to sell my soul and trade my integrity. It's never going to happen. Fuck the Republicans. Fuck the Democrats. I think that they're all a bunch of devil-worshipping scumbags, and that's my stance. And on that note, I'm going to go. Nate, thank you again. But yo, hit me up. And by the way, you know, shout out to Ian, shout out to Baron. They've given me multiple shout outs and stuff. But special shout out to Nate, because not only is he the first one, actually no, Ian played my song. That was cool. But since I started this show, Nate's the only one that I'm aware of that has actually played my clips and played my content, and he's done it multiple times. And I think that is awesome, and I am grateful. And hopefully I do get my numbers up to a point where I can add something more and help his channel and the other people that I support's channels in another way. But thank you very much, everybody. Remember, be kind, be grateful, do a good deed for somebody. And if you're not a subscriber and follower of Valhalla VFT, check him out because this guy does really good work. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day.